We're going to create a stored procedure to update data in an existing record. We've got some best practices here. DBO or SA creates the stored procedure and then grants permission to whoever needs to use that stored procedure. You always want to test your data first to make sure that this is the data bit that you want to change. Update using a unique identifier, generally the primary key, whenever possible. This is going to remove ambiguity from the update operation, making sure you've got the right record. Always use a where clause in an update operation unless you intend to do a global replace in every row in the table. And updates are intent specific, and the update procedures have to be tailored to each specific use. So for instance, what we want to do here is to create a stored procedure to manually update an order and specifically to change the delivery date on an order. This happens often in cookie sales. So the first thing I want to do is, if the stored procedure exists already, go ahead and drop it. We have an indexed view built on these two tables. Again, we're looking at, on the order header and order detail table, there's an index view built. But the index view on the order header table constrains that table, so we have to have ANSI nulls and the coded identifier parameters set to on. Create the procedure, give it a name, define the input parameter, in this case order ID, as an integer, and the new delivery date, which will be a date time data type. If the order ID doesn't exist in the table, then return an error. Else, go ahead and update this order. There's a commented out line here, and it's used for testing. So you can confirm that while you're creating this stored procedure that you in fact are getting the right values. An update is essentially a delete and an add. And the deleted dot star and inserted dot star are that actually looks at the transaction log, or actually the block in memory, page in memory, that will be written to the transaction log, and you are seeing into the transaction log the data that used to be there and the data that will be there. So it's commented out for production purposes. Error checking, if there's anything going on that would preclude committing this transaction, then go ahead, raise the error, and roll it back. Now you want to test it. So first of all, I'm going to look at the data, and I have the top 3 orders. And I think what I want to do is order number 38, yeah, I do want to go ahead and change the delivery date on that because shipments have been delayed. So I am going to, once again, make sure this is 5/28, and I need to change that to 6/10. And I will execute that stored procedure we just created, and then I will look at the record again and see that the delivery date has in fact been changed to 6/10. I'm going to test using a non-existent order ID, and it throws the error from the front of the stored procedure. Then I'm going to grant execute permission on this stored procedure to those who are part of the DB executor role. And that's it.